way through the field here.
Yeah, Bonomi and Isidro are still side by side through the uphill section of the course.
Through the cutting.
Side again, we'll see, and is able to clear. Flaum up to fourth now.
Looking for room, goes out to the right. At the line, oh man, it's a dead heat. It was Cameron Dance. Cameron Dance, 0-0-0.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome in, everybody, to Turn 200's coverage of the Venom Truck Series here If you may notice, at the sign-off of last week's broadcast, we said we'll see you in Concord next week. This is decidedly not Concord. This is Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Thompson International Speedway. It goes by many names. It is 0.6 miles in length. It's still a very short boy, but a lot less triangular. At the behest of league officials, the race has been moved to this location, which will still be a first-time venue for the Venom Truck Series. Trucks behave a little bit better here, but we've got 31 of them here tonight, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the drivers will handle the Shrug Emoticon 200 at Thompson tonight. It's Tommy Cook, it's Matt Williamson. Matt, buddy, what are we in for tonight? This is gonna be something.
You know what they say? This is short track racing, baby. We are in for some good stuff. The cool thing about this place is it doesn't have like crazy high banks like Bristol, but the corners are pretty high banked also. The straights are much flatter than they are at Bristol, though, so a little bit different. But, I mean, drivers, they are going to be beating and banging here most likely. The over-under on the caution limit is set pretty high, probably, on the books. And we are about ready to get the show on the road, but probably need to take a look at the points first.
Yes, indeed. Quite a few of the season best finishes, one career best finish last week. But with all that said, not a whole lot changed in the points department.
No, not much has changed here. Pretty much everybody is still in the same spots. I think Miglin and Freed may have swapped positions. Garrett Rainey's now in the top 15, actually tied for 14th with Tyler Logan, and pushed somebody out of the top 15 here. You do see here this week we have that cutoff line projection. So currently the first 5 out is McKinnon, Zittel, Lockett, Logan, and Rainey. Of course, still plenty of races to go, including here tonight. But those final 4 spots at the moment are really the ones that look to be up for grabs. Poliski, Schlosser, Van Leer, Palumbo, Engrav, and John Kay are all looking pretty good right now, but still a lot of races left. If a couple of those drivers really have a dry spell here, they could fall out as well.
And good to point out, Jeremy McKinnon got a second podium of the season last week to vault himself to 11th in the standings. McKinnon, of course, still part-time this season, so he is not here tonight. Not a big short track fan, so he's not at Thompson. Neither will Hunter Engrav be here tonight, as he made up quite a bit of ground on John Kay, who had his worst finish of the season last week. He picked up his 3rd win of the season, but is going to take the night off here tonight after practicing with the group here for a little while. So it is time now to go racing here at Thompson Speedway for the first time in Venom Truck Series history. Round number 8 of season number 8. And the pole position belongs to Preach Luke Peterson for the 2nd time in his career, first of the season. Andy Poliski needs to finish in first here tonight. He's finished in 3rd 2 weeks ago and 2nd last week. So it'd be a podium trifecta if he were able to pull it off here tonight. Austin Holyfield, what an incredible starting spot for him. Best non-super speedway starting position for Austin Holyfield in 3rd. Hayden Palumbo, uber consistent this season, will line up on the outside of row number 2. Eric Breeding and Kyle Zittel, teammates there. Both have been sporty in practice. They start on row number 3. RJ Starcevic lining up in 7th next to Garrett Rainey, who's been doing better and better the last couple of weeks. He will start in 8th. Matt Schlosser and Paul Ellison both in the chase. As it stands right now, they are on row number 5. John Kay, the points leader, back in 11th. Zach Lockett has 10th place finishes in 3 of the last 4 races. He starts in 12th tonight. Jan Van Leer on a top 10 streak as well, starting 13th, 4th in the standings entering tonight. Paul Sargent has been fast in practice. He will start in 14th. Pascal Simard starting 16th with Brantley Gainey to his inside. Ryan Dye is back in the field for the first time in 2 weeks. He lines up next to Gary Clark on row number 9. Jordan Jorno and Cole Maxwell will round out row number 10. Field is rolling here. Matt Williamson, as we get ready to get into tonight's racing action. It's good to point out EOL penalties tonight for Chad Stearns, Joshua Motacek, and unfortunately RJ Starcevic with that good qualifying effort. They will have to drop to the back. Hunter Engrav also will have to serve one the next time he makes a start with the VTS. But what are the track conditions here? What are these drivers going to be eyeing up at Thompson?
Well, of course, under the lights here at Thompson, so track temperature not real high. 78 degrees on the track temperature, pretty minimal wind, not going to be much of a factor here tonight. Drivers, they get 3 extra sets of tires. We have 200 laps around Thompson Speedway here. No faster pairs. Fuel probably isn't going to be a factor, expecting there to be multiple cautions here throughout the night, and with the track being as short as it is, they can go a pretty long ways on fuel, but I'm sure tires probably going to be a factor more than the fuel here tonight. So, as the cautions come, those drivers are going to be looking at the opportune moments to come down pit road and play that strategy correctly.
Been a rough couple of weeks for Luke Peterson. He elects the outside as he's got Andy Poliski to his inside. We're racing at the Shrug Emoticon 200 at Thompson. Into turn number 1, that grip strip gonna be what these drivers are aiming for here early in the going. Peterson with the lead. Oh, contact and now a spin further back. Caution is out.
Oh, and everybody's stacking up, getting into each other.
That was Jan van Leer with just a half spin there. These rear tires don't want to stick to this track for the first couple of laps. We almost made it a lap, though.
Unfortunately, almost doesn't really count in a lot of cases.
No, certainly not. The good news is, I don't believe we have any meatball flags.
I'd be surprised to see many here tonight with the infield being somewhat wide open, and I guess you could get one off the outside wall, but I can't imagine you're going to make too hard of contacts to that outside wall. But let's take a look and see what happens here. This is the 5 of Jan van Leer. Oh, and it looks like some things happen in front of him as well, but nobody really went around. But we see Paul Sargent gets into the back of the 5 in the braking zone here.
That was Eric Breeding that kind of got half checked up there underneath his teammate Garrett Rainey.
You see there, the 49 gets into the back of the 5. 5 gets into the back of Zach Lockett. Drivers trying to avoid. Rob Williams gets turned by Miglin, trying to get slowed down. But not any crazy contact between really any trucks or the outside wall too bad. Definitely some dents there, but nothing detrimental.
Line it up and try it again. A little bit of temperature in the tires now, even just one lap under the green and some laps under caution here. So hopefully these rears will start to stick and these drivers can think about what they can do, or at least just think in terms of how can I get in line. It's going to be tough to pass here tonight, and hopefully the drivers don't force it too much. But Peterson still had control when the caution came out. He leads the field once again. He elects the outside. Lap number 6 this time. Poliski there in second as one car loose there on the bottom. It's Matt Schlosser, and he's going to drop out of the top 10, trying to save it. Nicely done. Zittel and Poliski side by side for spot number 2. Peterson leads the first full green flag lap. Oh, one car spinning, I believe. Dan Miglin is down in the grass. We're going to stay green. He drops all the way to the tail of the field. Just like that, everybody almost in line on the top. The driver's still trying to get it figured out.
Yeah, I see Schlosser goes around Pascal Samard on the top side there, finally getting into the line he wants to be in.
Zittel was faster than Peterson last time around, but the gap is opening up this time as Ryan Dye makes contact with Zach Lockett further back, and that starts a chain reaction of check it up all through turns 3 and 4 outside of the top 10.
I would imagine other than some big mistakes, we're going to have some tire fall off here before the getting gets good for passing opportunities, although you see Jan Van Leer trying to dive to the inside of Corey Rutherford.
Don't you worry, there will be tire fall off. It's one of those where the percentages don't match how the truck feels. Because the percentages were rather kind, but the truck started to turn like a dump truck after a while. I ran quite a bit of practice, over 100 laps yesterday with the rest of the drivers here. And this is fun. This is a fun track. But it's one that's demands your respect and gratitude, that's for sure. Peterson feeling awful gratuitous up to this point, leading by a second and a half over his teammate Kyle Zittel. Andy Poliski is in third. Oh, and now trouble. It's Josh Freed around in turn number 3. Or rather, down the front straightaway. Caution is out for the second time here on lap 11.
Kind of just caught the very tail end of that. Freed down into the grass.
And he had help from Tyler Bergert. But a rather inoffensive incident there in terms of damage or consequences, I guess. Freed was already pretty far back in the pack.
Back it up, take a little bit better look here, and there's a short track incidents right here. We saw the same with Sargent and Jan Van Leer earlier. And here you see Berger in the 44 get into the back of Freed. Freed really had nowhere to go. Had Starcevic up there in front of him in the 29. And almost kept it rolling, but got it completely sideways there on the infield, so we're going to re-rack him.
Hello to everybody. Greg Elliott's here. Hello, Greg. Bailey Marie cheering on Joshua Motacek. Motacek back in the 25th position, I believe, as Tyler Berger just got an EOL. Lucas Ward is here. Hello, Lucas. Jonathan Touchstone. John Deere headed to the back. Yes, indeed. Freed will line up, I think, just in front of Tyler Berger. It's the man he just made contact with. They'll be 29th and 30th. Again, no Hunter Engrav tonight.
I just noticed we have a couple of different paint schemes, one of them being the Savannah Bananas for Josh Jackson.
You talk about big weeks for paint schemes. Next Tuesday night is Venom Throwback Night at North Wilkesboro. One of the best nights of the season by far, just because of how good the trucks be looking. So join us here for that. Same time, North Wilkesboro next week. This is a tough stretch for the schedule, as we're getting doubled up here. It is Peterson again, electing the outside. Zittel now will be on the bottom. Poliski will restart in third, and Hayden Palumbo looking to jump a couple of spots here, starting up top in fourth. Green flag is back out here on lap 16. Peterson, good getaway. Here is Zittel fighting tooth and nail to hang on to second. Palumbo is here. Poliski is faded. So that's Austin Holyfield who was outside. Ellison with a bit of a slip up. Oh, and Holyfield into the wall there just about. Or just a little.
Holyfield looked really good in practice and qualifying. You see Poliski way down on the bottom, almost loses it. He is going to lose a couple of positions here.
That is John Kay trying to go around the outsides. We got one spinning. Caution is back out. I believe Rodney Matney is involved. Several other drivers. Zach Lockett got a piece of the action there as well. So far, these are pretty minute in scale. Everybody's doing a good job to not make them worse.
Well, that just means we got a lot of trucks out on the racetrack to cause more, though.
Well, we'll get your big humdinger here before too long, I'm sure.
Let's see if we can find that one. The thing about these, and you kind of mentioned it, is with these incidents, there really aren't many flags being put up for me to actually go back and look at replays because the incidents are so small in scale. Did see that Zach Lockett was sideways there down in turn 3. Guessing probably got a little bit of help.
Lockett says he's the one responsible.
Yeah, actually, he almost got into Rainey and just absolutely stabbed the brakes and spun himself out trying to stay out of the back of the 13. And he did what he was trying to do. He stayed out of the back of the 13, but unfortunately ended up spinning himself sideways down there on the bottom of the racetrack.
Lockett's on a good run right now. 3 top 10s in the last 4 races. He's put himself just outside of that playoff cutoff, or the chase cutoff, rather. So, still a long time to go here. But he was going to restart in 30th for the next restart. Why don't we give a call to Austin Holyfield, whose name has been coming up more and more recently. Just got his best finish of the season a couple weeks ago at Laguna Seca, 10th place, 14th place last week. Holyfield's been rocking and rolling of late, doing a stellar job. He's got my vote up to this point for most improved of season 8, no doubt. Here we go for the restart. Again, it's Peterson on the outside. Now, Palumbo has the unfavorable spot at the inside of the second row. Peterson into the wall on the gas, and it's going to open it up for Palumbo to go for the lead. Zittel tries to get up high, and will. Palumbo's still fighting. Peterson might get away with it here, and he will. Oh, and caution is out once again. It's Tyler Berger.
Looks like RJ Starswick pretty slow there on the bottom through turns 3 and 4 as well.
So it may have happened in front of Berger, but Berger was certainly involved, and it did. RJ Starswick went around first, and Berger was just slow. I hate to say it, but these don't need to be cautions. But it is the sim throwing them, not the admins. Because RJ had that saved.
Yeah, by the time I even got to it, he was rolling forward already. Let's go take a look. And it's a very similar situation to what we just had. Nearly got into the back of Jorno, had to stab the brakes, and under braking, these trucks are just really loose. Bends them straight out to the left, kicks the rear tires out to the right. And you're right, definitely did not need to be a caution there. Didn't really even make contact with anybody. But iRacing controls the cautions, and Barney's being generous with the yellow once again.
Yes, indeed. Broke up a good battle for the lead is Peterson and Palumbo. Peterson clipping the wall there, putting the power down to come to the restart. Palumbo gave him all he could handle there on the bottom. Zittel with a bold move to move up top, and it shuffled Austin Holyfield back, challenging from 3rd back to 6th. So we'll double up once again. Peterson, not a shock, will take the top side. There's Stickers McQueen. Ronnie Matney, where is Ronnie Matney? He's in 16th for this restart. Lap 28. See if we can get some green flag running in. Back it away. May have jinxed it. Side by side, here's John Kay for second on the preferred line. There's some contact further back. Gary Clark is involved, and that one will be a caution. One car stopped. It's Jordan Journeau. A lot of pinballing further back there. Oh, and Corey Rutherford just crashed under the caution.
And Rutherford's still sitting still here on the top of turn number 1.
He just said that he has a monitor issue. But, I mean, he's crashed. He's going to be out of this race more than likely, which is not good. He almost clipped somebody, and I'm not sure who it was.
Likely just turned himself up into the wall as to not get into anybody.
It looked more like a packet loss to me, but he did come over the radio and say it was a monitor issue. Because, I mean, he just pinned the throttle. It was almost a big problem.
Well, let's take a look at the initial incident first. Journeau's on the bottom here in the 84. I think he just gets way too hot here into turn 3. Drifts up into the 05 of Stearns, and it just turns the truck around. Ooh, everybody does a good job of getting around him there on the inside. Couple of close calls there for Maxwell and others. And then let's look at the incident for Rutherford here. So there's Journeau going around there in turn 3. Corey's here in the 50. Caution's already flying at this point. Oh boy, and he splits. Oh my goodness, he was so close to taking Rodney Matney out.
And it was packet loss. It was not just a monitor disconnect, it was a full lag out, which explains the pin throttle. And yeah, not by much. Matney's going to escape from that one.
Yeah, that was awful close.
The hair on his chinny chin. As we are doubled up here for the restart. Coming to lap 33. Peterson again in control, but now it's John Kay on the bottom with his first look at the lead tonight. Back at her way. Kay did not get a great restart there. He'll have Zittel to his outside. Side by side for P2. Peterson leading. Alabama gang looking pretty sporty with the top 4 spots. Super kick as well lumped in with that. The whole stable eating well.
Poliski again looking to get up back into the top podium positions here. Currently in the top 5.
Oh, big moment there for Palumbo on the bottom. Got super duper loose. And that will only help Poliski's cause.
Foster and Holyfield side by side here as well. Holyfield good run off the top out of turn 2.
Oh! That's Holyfield. Oh boy, big problems. That's more of what we were afraid of there. Holyfield with the spin, multiple drivers involved in that one. Ellison, Vroman, Stearns.
Yeah, there are a couple on the bottom there too. I didn't quite get a great look at. Holyfield knew that he was sliding for a long time and was trying his darndest to save it, but just did not quite get it corralled before spinning out on the top there and then going down the racetrack. Let's take a look. Already spinning there. We'll back it up a tad. Carries maybe a little bit too much speed there into turn 3. The rear end kicks out on the top side. See the wheel, those front wheels cranked all the way to the right, trying to keep himself from going around. But it was just too late. And then you see Ryan Dye, Paul Ellison. Gainey may have gotten a little piece of it. Steve Vroman here on the top side. And Chad Stearns was wedged in there as well.
Ryan Dye has brought the Witch Doctor down pit road, and Paul Maxwell followed him. So those two getting some service. And still plenty of time to go in this race as the field, well, I think they're doubling up on a boredom, as they're not officially doubling it up yet.
Tough sledding for a lot of drivers so far here tonight.
I know one thing. I don't want to restart on the bottom.
Yeah, definitely not the place you want to be. Here's a look at Ryan Dye, car inside cam. Fortunately, going to be buried deep in this field now.
Well, we're down to 29 as Corey Rutherford has got a lot of repairs to do.
Paul Ellison going to be buried here as well. He's running a car inside camera for us. And the other driver running a car inside cam is in a much better position at the moment, and that is John Kay.
In a better position, but on the inside. Peterson chose the inside. Palumbo gets, or excuse me, the outside. Palumbo gets the outside. Zittel has been the best bottom restarter yet. We'll see if he can figure it out once again here. Lap 41 on the board this time.
Whoa.
Boy. Oh no! Schlosser with help from Rainey. Back. Caution is back out. But again, that was better than it could have been. I would actually argue that Rainey got the worst of that. Because he got hit pretty hard by Chad Stearns, and it sent him back into the outside wall.
Well, let's take a little looky-loo. Here's a restart. Zittel almost got up into Peterson here through turns 1 and 2. Good battle going between the two of them early on here. There's Rainey into the left rear of the 4. Oh, and it's Chad Stearns that pounds the back of Rainey, who then gets back into Schlosser. Stearns got hit by another truck there as well, and you see Ryan Dye comes to a complete stop there on the top side. All was already pretty much at the tail end of the field, so really no harm done there.
You'll notice Ryan Dye coming to a stop in that shot there. Dye is 1 lap down, but because he came to a complete stop, he didn't even make any contact with anything. But because he came to a stop, iRacing will not give him a lucky dog, which is something. But I will say, Ryan does have the power to rectify that, and he's chosen not to. Oh, you know what? Kyle Zittel did it for him. How nice. What a guy.
Now, will Ryan take it or not? Yes, he will.
Yes, he will. If it's been afforded to him, he will certainly take it. Let's give you a quick buzz through the field here. Peterson has led every single lap thus far. Kyle Zittel's in second. Hayden Palumbo in third. John Kay, big moves for him. He's up 7 to 4th. Andy Poliski has dropped back to 5th. Garrett Rainey 6th. Eric Breeding is 7th. Chad Stearns, the biggest mover of the race thus far. He is up 18 positions to 26th. Or excuse me, to 8th. 9th for Rodney Matney. Then your top 10 is rounded out by Brantley Gainey. Dan Miglin, also a big mover in 11th. Jan Van Leer back up to 12th after his spin earlier. Steve Roman in 13th. Pascal Samard. Joshua Motocek, your top 15. Rob Williams in 16th. Gary Clark in 17th. Paul Sargent 18th. Josh Freed and RJ Starcevic, your top 20. Jordan Jorneau, Josh Jackson, Zach Lockett, Cole Maxwell, and Tyler Berger through 25th. Austin Holyfield, Paul Ellison, Matt Schlosser, and Ryan Dye, the 29 drivers on the lead lap. Corey Rutherford presumed to be out of the race, but he's still in the session here. He is in 30th, sitting on pit road, getting a lot of repairs done. Lap 47 of 200. After the 7th caution of the night already, we're back at our way. Oh, Zittel missed a shift and gets blasted out of the way. Not a whole lot that Hayden Palumbo could do there. Zittel back to 15th and continuing to fall. So John Kay is now up to 2nd. Gary Clark in the wall in turn 3. Still moving, will stay green.
Wow, look at Poliski. Rolls the bottom really well through turns 3 and 4. We've talked about that top side being dominant. Still able to make up a little bit of ground here.
Rob Williams slow as the leaders are approaching. He had to spin down into the infield. Oh, and there goes Dan Miglin. Miglin with help from Stearns, and he doesn't hold the brake right in front of the rest of the field. And they continue to stack up. Ay, ay, ay. Williams with a meatball. Berger with a meatball. Lockett and Holyfield, big damage for them.
Lockett needs to get going, otherwise it's too late. He's already lost that lap.
Yeah, maybe just sitting here out of frustration.
He's certainly been beat up. Well, I mean, one of them was self-inflicted, but others have not.
Let's hope that everything is okay, because now he is towed or disconnected, one of the two. But he is certainly going to be frustrated with this result nonetheless. We'll see what is going on with this caution here.
Yeah, taking a look. See Miglin here in the 31. And he was going to get into the back of Rodney Matney. And again, hits the brakes extremely hard and spins himself out into turn 3. We've seen that from quite a few drivers here. And then you mentioned it, rolls back down the racetrack. Jan Van Leer, a huge hit there. And then Pascal Samard, Josh Freed, Kyle Zittel. RJ Starcevic gets some damage here off of this. Drivers continue to roll through. I'm not sure where the pileup with Lockett happens here. We're going to back it up and see what happens there. Lockett rolls through on the outside. And there's Zittel that was kind of wrecking in front of him. And he just... he's turning through turn 4 and then just goes straight into the wall. Very similar to a Corey Rutherford incident there.
Yeah, he's still sitting here in turn number 4. They're going to have to do something. Because whatever the problem is, it's not getting fixed.
He's finally moving his wheel now. He wasn't doing anything there for a while. I did see his wheel just move, but...
Yeah, and it's delayed the procession here because his truck is still sitting there.
Something, a hardware issue, or hopefully not a real-life issue.
Unfortunately, there's no way to get him off the track without disqualifying him or removing him from the session. So,
yeah. Truck's kind of glitching in and out of the wall, too. I don't know if that has something to do with it or not. See Jan Van Leer pulling up alongside of him and trying to move him.
What? So they've removed Zach Lockett from the session. He said that he was driving around on the track in a practice session. That's honestly, I've never seen that before. But that truly sucks because Lockett had a whole lot of race left to go, even though he was multiple laps down to try and make up for it. We're going to go back green. After that, still Peterson leading.
Man, Poliski looking really strong at this point. Was working well on the bottom before that last caution came out. Now working the top side, gets around John Kay. Poliski is on the move here.
Poliski to second. Single file most of the way through the top 10. Kyle Zittel trying to pick his way back up through. He's in 11th right now. Some personal fastest laps, including for Andy Poliski.
Zittel nearly got into the back of Motocek, but able to get slowed down and not run him over.
Spending a save for Josh Jackson. We stay green. Tyler Bergert is stopped on track, it looks like, down on the front stretch grass, and that will not trigger a caution. Not the follow-up that Bergert was looking to, a career best finish last week at Gateway, no doubt.
A little bit of a slip up there for Gainey, who was in the top 10, now slips back to 12th. Gets passed by Zittel and Pascal Samard.
Already our second longest green flag run of the night. Okay, started to search around for a way through on Poliski. Poliski's fallen a second behind the race leader.
Don Kay going to the diamond formation through the corners here, going up the hill to the apex and then turning back down the hill. Not there in 3 and 4, though.
3 and 4 feels weird on that top side. It almost feels like
somebody.
flat.
That's Pascal Samard.
Oh, that's Pascal. In through the grass, feels like it flattens out. And that is where, I believe Eric Breeding just found himself. And no, it was Steve Roman, rather, up and into the wall in 3 and 4. Peterson continuing to extend this advantage up front, a second and a quarter.
Motocek has blinked a couple of times here, but now is back. Kyle Zittel has been trying to work on him for quite a while here. You mentioned John Kay searching around. Let's take this opportunity to go a car inside for some green flag racing with John Kay trying to track down Andy Poliski for second.
Oh, not going to happen. Josh Freed around again. Caution is out. Freed had rallied back to 12th after his first caution, or his first incident, rather. We'll have to see how this one came to be, but I believe this is already caution number 9. Good green flag run-in, longest of the night thus far.
Second incident here for the John Deere 39. And man, we've just seen this a whole heck of a lot up to this point tonight. Under braking, this truck just gets so loose on corner entry. And it has nabbed Josh Freed this time. But it's nabbed about 6 drivers tonight already.
McKinnon in the chat says he's practicing how to not speed on pit road. You sure knew what pit road speed was last week. You finished P3. Congrats on that. Interesting race thus far. We just saw Paul Ellison pit from 13th. That is the first true blue pit stop of the night. Everybody else has pit as a result of damage.
I mean, if we're looking at this from the point of, kind of where we're at with how many cautions we've had and how many laps we got left in the race, I mean, he may be looking at this like, maybe this will be my one and only pit stop, and I'm going to make it all the way to the end of the race here without having to come down pit road again.
I'm not sure if Jan Van Leer pit at all at Martinsville when he won last season. There were so many cautions. And, I don't know if we'll get up that high tonight, but it's certainly possible.
Well, we are up to 9, and we're not even halfway through this one, so I would say it's definitely possible.
The record is 20. We'll see. I took the under tonight, so I may be out.
Paul coming down pit road a second time here.
And this is actually a third trip down for Paul Ellison, so maybe he does have damage.
Not much of a stop there, though. I mean, around this short track, you really don't have time to get a whole lot of damage fixed before you go a lap down, so you're trying to stay on the lead lap. You can't get much fixed at one time. You got to come down multiple times, probably throughout the 2 or 3 different cautionary periods to get all that fixed.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before, Zach. That totally sucks. I'm very sorry. Peterson's led every lap thus far. Has anybody got anything figured out here in the top 5 to try and take a crack for the lead?
If anybody does, my money would be on Poliski. He's the only one that's looked pretty decent here on the inside.
Oh, trouble. Paul Ellison is stopped on the track. Others as well. Simard, we stay green. I don't know how that didn't trigger a caution, but some of the stuff we've seen tonight has. That was a 3-car incident.
Oh, Poliski up the racetrack a little bit. May have made contact with Palumbo.
Oh, boy. Was about to make bigger contact there, but decided to roll out of it. It's going to cost him at least 1 spot. Now trying to just get in line. May not have the opportunities. Chad Stearns is here.
We saw this with Matt Schlosser really early on in this race. Schlosser kind of got out of shape and ended up losing a lot of spots. Could not get back into line here on the top side. Same thing's happening to Poliski.
Don Kay just got a bit loose there out of 2.
Oh, and Stearns way up the racetrack.
Slides up, hits the wall, still not done sliding in, and
Still
one more
hits the
time
wall.
into the wall. Big contact there. So there's the hole Poliski was looking for. Unfortunately, comes at the expense of Stearns, who's back to a battle for 9th with Kyle Zittel.
A couple other drivers into the wall. Looked like Gainey was into the wall as well. Austin Holyfield trying to look underneath of him. Problems for Dan Miglin here in the 31.
Miglin absolutely sent it to the inside of Joshua Motacek there. Got up into the side of him. Palumbo closing in, just a couple of truck lengths here. Catching's one thing, passing's another. How do you pass here?
Well, these drivers really haven't had enough green flag running to be able to figure out where they need to set the passes up, so Those drivers on the offensive had a little bit of a disadvantage here right now at this point in the race.
It's been a great race thus far, even with all the cautions for Luke Peterson. He's led every single lap so far. And that may be coming to an end soon, as Palumbo hanging right with his teammate Peterson.
Side by side back here, Miglin going around the outside of Gainey. Jan Van Leer got through on RJ Starcevic as well. There's Josh Jackson and Paul Sargent side by side. This is for 21st place. Josh Freed right here in the mix with them as well.
In the pursuit of the lead, Palumbo just slapped the wall at a turn 4, but didn't lose much time.
Well, look at that onboard shot here with Palumbo in the 54. Had to really feather the throttle out of turn 4. Did not get all the way down on the pedal until just about start-finish. You feel like you're in constant jeopardy of getting tight off into the wall on corner exits here.
There is a good reason for that. As somebody who did a lot of practice yesterday, you are.
But it sucks
That was somebody quick.
It sucks because you're loose on entry and then tight on exit, and it's difficult, not to say the least.
There's the boss man. Look at that 38. He's led every single lap so far.
That's true 38 fashion, doing it on a short track here.
Nathan's got to feel pretty good about himself right now, seeing his car number up front and seeing his hand-picked protege running in second.
Whoa, Motorcheck.
Blinks. Big time.
I
Big
think he's
blink.
gone.
He might be gone.
He has not reappeared.
So he is likely done, or at least going to be multiple laps down. He is in 11th, or was in 11th at the time.
We did see him blink 2 or 3 times throughout this race, and probably more that we just didn't see, so not necessarily a huge surprise to see that one. But unfortunate nonetheless.
Tyler Berger doing a nice job staying out of the way. We'll bring it down pit road. Rough night for the 44. John Kay is closing in on Peterson and Palumbo. And Poliski not too far behind either.
Here's Freed and Jackson going after it for 19th. And Josh Jackson! A huge shot into the inside wall. Got loose out of the corner there and just could not get it straightened out. That is probably the end of the night there for the 7.
He'd been doing great about making the saves, driving it loose, but that was not saved that time.
Here's Matt Schlosser and Jordan Jordan side by side. This is for a top 10 spot. 10th place.
Ooh.
You can see the little bit of damage there to the bodywork of the 4. He's been in a couple of skirmishes here tonight.
Thought I'd lagged out of the session there for a second. I think I'm back. Man, battling behind them as well, Gainey and Miglin. Oh, and there's some almost contact. They're teasing. But Miglin threw him. Maybe finally we'll put that one to bed. They've been battling for a minute.
Look like problems for Cole Maxwell. Rainey gets through. Now we're under fire from Freed. Freed will get through. And Palumbo continues to stay a truck length or two behind Peterson here.
Spin Garrett Rainey down the backstretch. Oh, and he parks it there on the bottom. Caution is out. He was trying to bring it on track, was making maybe too wide of an angle there, and thought about it, slowed down, and the slowdown is what brings out the caution, not the spin. So that was certifiably our longest green flag run of the night, and that is our 10th caution just ahead of the halfway mark.
Here's a look at that incident for the 13, and very much similar to what happened to Jackson here just a few moments ago. But for Rainey, he's able to keep it off of the inside wall and able to continue. Didn't get a... the turn radius is not very good here in the truck.
No.
Was trying to get it back on the bottom side of the racetrack, but had some traffic coming up on him, so had to slow down, and that is what brought out the caution. And lots of folks down pit road here.
If he would have been in a sprint car, he would have been fine. But yes, indeed. A lot of people down pit road. Peterson from the lead, Palumbo, Kay, and Poliski. Matinee, those are your top 5. Stearns behind him. Zittel was in the top 10. Journeau was just outside of the top 10. Miglen, Holyfield, Gainey, and Ellison, and as well as Ryan Dye. Ellison and Dye had damage from a previous incident. And Dye is actually just now coming down pit road. Ellison is coming back down pit road as well. So, of those drivers that stayed out, it is Steve Vroman at the front of the field. Daredevil winner from Wednesday night. Breeding, Schlosser, Van Leer, Starcevic now the top 5. Josh Freed is having one whale of a night. He's back up to 6th. Cole Maxwell's in the top 10. Paul Sargent, Garrett Rainey, who just spread out that caution, will be in 9th. I'm sure he'll get an EOL. But then Andy Poliski wins the race on pit road. That is crucial. Because he's ahead of Luke Peterson.
Yeah, the field gets flipped here, though. That can make things awfully interesting going into the second half of this one.
Peterson had led every lap up until he came down pit road on lap 95. But this could ruin his race if things start to go wrong in front of him. And fresh tires for the first time since the start of the race for a lot of these drivers. Going to be very interesting. Nathan Reynolds being a troll. Love that.
Something about Steve Roman in the Turn 200 season openers just clicks.
Well, this is round 8 here, but looking to leave his mark nonetheless. He got the memo. He takes the outside. We're back at our way. Oh, Jan right there onto the right rear quarter panel of the 26. Jan trying to spurt up into second. And will. Oh, Garrett Rainey, a huge send and a save. It's going to shuffle the mid-pack up. They were 4 wide out of turn 4, and they didn't crash. I don't know how.
3 wide here into turn 1. Oh, Jorno sends it. Doesn't get into Rainey. I don't know how.
No, spin. It's Poliski. Caution. Poliski with a spin, running in 9th. And we will see. John Kay says he thinks there was contact between he and Poliski, so he will take an EOL penalty and move himself to the back of the field.
Wow.
Steve Roman pinning from the lead. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this one got started. For sure.
Oh, and I think John's right. Looked like John gets into the right rear of the 32 there from that angle. I think John just got better drive off the corner here. Oh, and Pleasky maybe had to check up a tad for Maxwell there on the bottom. John gets into that right rear of the 32. And the 32 spins off the front bumper.
He dumped him.
Let's go ahead and we'll back it back up, and let's go ahead and go on board with John here.
I feel like we could be sarcastic about that because obviously John would not do that, especially not to Andy of all people.
There's Mr. John K. Here's the in-car camera. Let's let it roll. And that's the contact there. John was out of the throttle, obviously, trying not to make that happen, but that was just the circumstance and situation they found themselves in.
The good old hashtag FJK in the chat. John's had a cool week. Working at Eldora, doing the Kings Royal this week. Had a good time, it sounds like. So Vroman is the only driver that came down pit road. Eric Breeding came down a couple laps after the pits had opened. But Vroman from the lead. That now gives the top spot to Jan Van Leer. Matt Schlosser assuming he will line up on the inside here as JVL should take the top. Josh Freed is now in third. And it's not like we haven't seen him in this position before this season, but just in the context of tonight, that is hilarious. So he'll line up next to RJ Starcevic, who's had a similarly interesting night. Cole Maxwell, Paul Sargent, your top six. And there's Peterson with seventh place. Hayden Palumbo, though, to his outside in eighth. As we're Constantinering already. That is one of the worst restarts I think I've ever seen. I don't know how we didn't crash.
Look at RJ Starcevic on the outside of Matt Schlosser moving to second.
Wow. RJ to P2. Great move there. Taking advantage of the Plinko game.
Wide out of
3 wide.
4.
That wasn't going to work. Matt, and he rolls out. RJ in second, chasing Jan Van Leer is chasing his first win of the season. Schlosser back in line in third.
Lots of double file here farther back in the pack. Oh, the caution's out.
Ryan Dye around in turn 4. And that will put us under another caution here on lap 109. Ryan's comments over the radio seem to allude to it being a single truck incident. And as much as I love Ryan, that does not need to be a caution. Although I'm sure when iRacing was programming the auto cautions for this track, they were not envisioning the NASCAR trucks ever being run here.
Yeah, Ryan just about got into Vroman. He carried way too much speed into turn 3. Yeah, and Diet, I mean, yeah, I guess he just was too slow on the racetrack getting turned around, I guess. Definitely more cautions than there would be in real life, that's for sure.
Certainly.
And, I mean, for the Zach Lockett incident, if it was NASCAR, they wouldn't throw a caution at all. Until they've crossed the finish line for the
they
checkered
took the white flag.
Or the white flag, yeah.
Somebody's upset, it sounds like.
Huh? Couldn't be me.
No.
Nobody look at the Venom general chat from Sunday.
Well, we've got 22 drivers on the lead lap, including Ryan Dye. 23rd is 16 laps down. So, a bit of a gap. Jan van Leer at the front of the field. In truck number 5. Best finisher second at Richmond earlier this season. 2 podiums, 3 top 5s. He's 4th in the standings entering tonight. Been a great season for Jan thus far.
And again, finds himself at the front of the field on one of these tiny short tracks where there's a lot of cautions. This is extremely reminiscent of Martinsville last season.
It's a little bit longer, a little bit more banking. Certainly the driving styles seem to mesh. I don't know why we have so many problems at Martinsville. This one's a little bit more excusable because, like you said, how many people have raced here at Thompson before? Probably not a whole lot.
Definitely not the trucks.
Certainly not in the trucks. Back it away.
Good restart there for Palumbo. Behind Jan van Leer. Bad one for RJ Starcevic. He's going to lose that spot pretty handily.
Here is Paul Sargent inside the top 5. Cole Maxwell almost got taken 3 wide there by Luke Peterson. Breach rolls out.
Looked like Sargent got into the wall and entry there into 1. Now side by side, Maxwell contact.
Maxwell around, takes Josh Freed with him. Of course he does. Caution is out. Yep.
Well, we saw that one happen in real time, but
Certainly.
let's go ahead and take a look anyways. Go ahead and back it up. Watch it develop a little bit here. Sargent got into the wall here on entry into 1 a little bit. And just got up the racetrack. So Maxwell trying to take him here on the bottom. Nearly 3 wide there with Freed. Makes the contact with the 49. Then moves down the racetrack into the 39. And Freed has been in all of the wrong places here tonight. At the wrong times as well.
Yeah. That's not even up for debate. I believe the field has gotten the warning that we might go to single file restarts here as soon as potentially this restart. Up for debate. I think that would probably be useful because once we get single file, the racing has at least been cleaner. We've gotten our longest runs when we can make it through the first 2 laps after a restart. I know that's kind of a Captain Obvious thing to say, but once you get everything sorted out, we might be able to run this thing out, potentially. Or at least take a whole chunk of laps out of it. But for now, I think we are going to stay double file, and Jan van Leer will have control. Hayden Palumbo And a great move to take second away from RJ Starcevic. Starcevic will line up at third, Schlosser in fourth, Paul Sargent in fifth, and now Luke Peterson will be, if indeed we do double file, back on the outside towards the front of the field.
This is certainly doo-doo double file.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Proud of that one, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be, but
That's the kind of quality we strive for here on Turn 200. Hey, Andrew Couch cheering on John Kay, who is down in the grass for some reason.
it's doing
Pulling
John
the tires
Kay
off?
things.
Yeah, I guess.
Beating and banging before we even get to turn 4.
Good Lord. Well, that was the worst restart I've ever seen.
That's some local short track racing right there.
Yes, it is.
Whoa! Paul Sargent nearly lost it up into the
Big
entire
problems.
field.
Or maybe not. Caution is out, though, regardless. Somebody... It sounded like went spinning, and I saw some shuffling, but nobody stopped. Why is that a caution?
I don't know. It looked like Gainey was a little bit out of shape. I don't know if he was trying to
Certainly.
avoid somebody or...
He dropped from 12th down to 19th. And rewinding a bit. Had help from Kyle Zittel. Did tag the wall, but again, never stopped. Kept rolling.
And if we back it up, we'll see that contact from the 53 on up. And Kyle tried to avoid it. He jerked it way down to the inside, but was just a little too late. And, I mean, Caney barely even lost any speed. I mean, he lost some positions, but still had good corner exit after touching the wall. So,
That obviously sucks for Brantley Gainey there, but that in no world is that a caution unless in real life he drops debris. RJ texting and driving from 5th.
That's always a good idea, as we're affixed to the number 38 on the screen. I mean, only bad things have happened while you're texting and driving on pit road up to this point, I suppose. So, if you're on the racetrack, maybe it's okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll try again here, hopefully across the line this time. This time, Peterson has moved up a full row and is back on the outside, or will be whenever we double up here. Not sure why, but the field is split in half right now. And Garrett Rainey is catching the back half up to the front half. Not even the top 5 weirdest thing that's happened tonight.
Not even close.
Well, just got a text from Lucas Ward. And, we may have to put doo-doo double file on a t-shirt, it sounds like. Great.
I mean, you do like alliteration, so there you go. There's your alliteration.
Alliteration and poop jokes here on the Venom Truck Series on Turn 200.
Does it get any better than that?
No, it certainly doesn't. Lap 128 on the board this time. Back it away. Another big jump here for Jan. Here's Luke Peterson.
Oh,
as RJ
looked like
gets
RJ
run
up into the wall.
with help from Matt Schlosser. He'll lose multiple positions, still in the top 10. Here's Peterson going for second.
Peter up the track.
A little bit too high for Preach. Palumbo hangs on to the spot.
Peterson was trying to stay side by side with Palumbo there, but got himself up the racetrack in turn 3. Palumbo was right through on the bottom.
Remember, fresher tires for Preach, who just blinked. Don't tell me he blinked out. No, there he is.
Whoa, Miglin!
Hitting!
Wow, able to
Saves
save it, but stacks
Incredible.
the field up behind him big time.
3 wide. That's Zittel in the middle. Poliski on the outside. Now John Kay puts his teammate 3 wide. Oh, and a spin behind him. Big crash.
Goodness.
Hard hit. That was Josh Freed, and that one might be the coup de grace.
Tyler Berger took a huge one there as well. Already multiple laps down, though.
And that actually was not Freed that got the worst of that one. Might have been Eric Breeding. It was Eric Breeding.
Yeah, Breeding got it pretty good there.
That was Breeden Vroman that made the initial contact there, jockeying on the top side. Rob Williams in that. Yeah, big problems.
I mean, look at this corner entry. You got Zittel, Poliski, and Sargent up there 3 wide into turn 1. As they go through the middle, you mentioned it that John Kay ended up being 3 wide with Jorno and Zittel. Oh, yeah, and then Vroman kind of comes down the racetrack a little bit, and in my opinion, little bit hard to say, and I say that just because those drivers in the second lane in front of him are a little bit higher than he's running. Trying to come down the hill, get a good exit. Gets into that
I
right
think
rear.
if you're running that top side, that's more the natural line that you're going to take off the turn. Maybe expecting Breeding to be further down the track, and Breeding is moving out as well to maybe get himself hitched onto that outside line. That's the first time we've kind of seen the outside wall rubber banding. Certainly never as bad as it was. That's the first time I've seen that since the new damage model came out, almost 2 seasons ago? That car kind of just stuck in the wall and stopped. It didn't fling him 1,500 feet into the air, so it's
or
better than it was. Or backwards. Or both.
Pretty big damage for a lot of drivers there, though. I mean, Gary Clark, Williams, Bergert, Vroman, Breeding. Breed took, not as bad, but still pretty good shots there as well. That was a good 5 trucks that took it pretty heavy there.
Jonathan Touchstone pointing out that Austin Holyfield's back in the top 10. As we'll double up. Jan, no doubts, on to the outside. Now this pins Peterson on the inside in 3rd, and Schlosser will have the lane to get away in. Unfortunately, I guess technically we are still on the under that I set earlier tonight, but another caution will do me in. Jan and Hayden making some contact there as we go back green. Some contact with Schlosser and Peterson as well. Jan way up the track. Gets the good drive off that he's looking for. Netcode! Netcode contact sends Palumbo tumbling into the inside. No caution. There was
hard to tell if it was a netcode or Palumbo just got loose on his own.
No, it certainly looked like the front end pushed away from him. But they had a good 1.5 or 2 feet of space between them. Big problems further back. A spin. And there is multiple drivers around. Kyle Zittle's one of them. Paul Sargent. They were 3 wide off of turn 2 to set that one in motion again. And now the under's out. And the caution is too. It was Rainey that got turned. Poliski had a hand in it.
Yeah, it looked like Holyfield had a little bit to do with it there as well on the outside. See, Holyfield kind of gets, I don't know if he's trying to turn down the racetrack or gets loose a little bit, but Poliski is not expecting him to be that slow there on the top side and gets into the 10, which turns him down into Rainey. I think Holyfield may have had a little bit of a hiccup there on the exit. We'll go back and look at it from Poliski's point of view here. And yeah, it looked like Holyfield may have gotten into RJ Starcevic there, which kind of caused him to be really slow there on the top side, and Poliski kind of got caught in no man's land getting off the corner.
And now, it's time for Silly Songs with Larry, the part of the show where Larry comes out and sings a silly song. The silly song is that we're 60 laps away from the end of the race, and we are 4 cautions away from tying the caution record. Take it away, Larry.
Do double file restart.
Thanks, Larry.
To Nathan Reynolds' point, doesn't Harrison Burton find his way into every crash that's possible?
Ouch. Does not feel good.
Can't wait for 2025.
Let's see. I can't wait for this restart. What's going to happen next? We didn't even mention the netcode contact that happened between Jan Van Leer and Aiden Palumbo for the lead. That's how crazy things have gotten in this one. Jan in control. Schlosser had to roll out of it not to get a penalty there like he did last week at Gateway. Here is Rodney Madney to P2 as they're all sorts of all over the place behind him. Starcevic back up to 4th. We've got one slow, now spinning. It's Palumbo. And that's not a caution.
Because they're all down on the inside grass.
Oh, Lord. Have mercy.
And Paul Ellison's going to bring it out here.
Maybe.
Maybe not. I am
Wow.
quite surprised.
I don't get it. Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. Now, Brantley Gainey could bring out the caution for touching the wall, but that 6-car pileup was not a caution. Oh, well. We're still green. Van Leer, Matney, Schlosser, Starcevic, and Stearns, the top 5.
Jorno up into the wall.
There we go.
Kay gets through.
Caution. And Zittel, Poliski, Sargent. That one will do it. They are still parked sideways across the track. The pace car ran through them at full speed, and I got very scared there for a second.
Zittel may end up going a lap down after that. I'm not sure where it's going to put him, and I think it has.
So there's 17.
Well, let's see if we can find this one. There's Roman, Poliski, Zittel. Down through turns 1 and 2. And wow, Poliski just... What? Both... That was one of the weirdest incidents I've ever seen. Poliski and Zittel both quite... It's like Roman's dropping oil behind out the back of the 00. It was a synchronized getting loose off of turn 2, and they both overcorrected.
Well, I give it a 10.
They're practicing for the Olympics, I guess. Oh, and Sargent gets tagged there, too.
They're 2 years too early. Wrong Olympics. Well, I guess they could do it in the pool. I was thinking more ice skating.
I was thinking synchronized swimming, but
yeah,
ice skating too.
Cole Maxwell over the radio asks if this is the endurance race. Kind of, but also no. Yeah, cautions, non-cautions are weird. Yes, they are. I mean, we've had probably at least 3 cautions that did not need to be cautions tonight. But that's a drop in the bucket to the cautions that we have had. And also the wrecks that have not triggered the cautions. Like they should have. Poliski is going to go a lap down. Zittel also is a lap down. But the good news for them is they're the only 2 drivers that are a lap down. So we're doubling up, but we're going to go green next time, and Poliski came to a stop to try and let everybody by. College football 25. Let's go fighting Leathernecks. They're going to win it all.
They even put the Belmont football team in there.
Did they really?
No, we don't have a football team.
That's what I thought. I didn't know if they put if you'd ever had a football team and they put like a legacy mode in there or something.
Absolutely not.
Western doesn't have a football team either.
Unless they had a women's football team back when it was a women's only college.
Oh.
But knowing the United States back in the 20s, that's probably not the case.
No, probably not. We'll breeze right past that one. Matney does not get a good start there on the inside, trying to stay behind Jan, coming to the restart zone. Peterson thinks about 3 wide, and he's going to pull the trigger on it. Holyfield up top. Stearns and Holyfield get away. Peterson lost 2 spots there.
Yeah, Holyfield was in a great spot on that restart. Oh, caution's out again.
Bergert around. Paul Sargent around.
Rainey
once again.
Yeah, rolling backwards there on top of the wall. Or on top by the wall, I suppose I should say.
Well, yeah.
Wow, after all of this, Corey Rutherford has been able to get back out on the racetrack. How about that?
More issues. Jordan Journeau is stopped on the top of the track. That is the 3rd time we've had like this session monitor disconnect thing. I mean, bizarre.
I think Thompson is just fighting back.
I think so. No, this is Concord fighting back. You took this race away from me. I have cursed it. Truly, the shrug emoticon in the title of this race has never been more apt than it is right here. And Corey Rutherford just kind of read my mind there. We've had issues in the last couple of weeks The CrowdStrike problems, of course, everybody's having problems with that. The DDoS attacking. Yeah, there's so much going on. Plus, trucks at Thompson.
And Rainey, what we've seen a lot here tonight from everybody, from other drivers as well. Just a little bit too much speed there into turn 3, getting on the brakes, and the truck spins out. That's just how it's been. Took a pretty good shot there from Sargent, though, and a couple others got into the wall a little bit, so a little bit more damage there from some of the drivers than we've seen in some of the incidents here tonight.
So that threat of single file restarts have never come to fruition. Never too late. But this is shaping up to be a wild leaderboard here in the final stretch of this race. Almost 40 laps to go. Van Leer, Starcevic, Matney, Miglin, Schlosser the top 5. Stearns, Holyfield, Peterson, Freed, somehow, and Ryan Dye, your top 10.
Can we get 44 laps of grace here?
No. I believe in a long run. I do. But the rest of the way, no.
Never too late for one.
I hope so. We've yet to see an on-track pass for the lead. And Starcevic delivered. Jan with a big jump. Back it away. Oh, there goes Peterson into the wall. Peterson and Ryan Dye have gotten the worst of it. We're still green. Now we're yellow.
Caution's up.
And I don't see anything else. Kyle Zittel threw that caution. So that's the first thrown caution of the night. I hate to say it, but why?
I know, like, Jorno jumped to the pits.
Yeah, Jorno is back. He actually lagged out of the session, so.
Where is Luke? There he is. Let's get a look at this restart. Oh, Luke getting taps from Ryan Dye behind. Got him kind of loose up into the wall. I think there's some driver fatigue and frustration coming into play here at this point.
I believe so. Ryan said he did not mean to hit him, and multiple times was trying to get around and just kept hitting him instead. So, yeah. Joshua Motacek got the lucky dog again. He was just 16 laps down. He's now 10 laps down. So we only need 10 more cautions, and he's right back in this. He's got a chance. Oh, and Jan with the unfortunate news over the radio. He says it's raining. There's lightning within 8 miles of the racetrack.
I don't know what he's
here in
talking
Connecticut.
about. The lightning is on the racetrack and has been striking about every 5 green flag laps here.
They say it never strikes twice. It struck 19 times already. Also, speaking of lightning, RJ Starcevic, he's still here. Kurt Chu, Team 200, is in third.
And he's dropped back a couple of times on some not optimal restarts as well, and just has continued to plug away, continued to try and work on the restarts here. And I don't know if it's by good restarts or just by attrition, but again has made his way here into the top 2 rows.
Well, this will be interesting. Miglin is not going to play around if he's got to crack the lead here. He lines up to the inside of Jan van Leer for the race win. Back at her way. Matney thundering around the outside. And he will clear Miglin.
Palumbo just about went around off of 2 again.
Oh no, there is Palumbo. Palumbo tags Stearns, others involved. The record tying 20th caution of the night. Tyler Bergert says, instead of Thompson next time, we should run the Chili Bowl.
Honestly, would probably be less cautions.
Maybe. Also a 10-truck feature.
Well, yeah. You could probably put 12 or 14.
Anyway, brother.
Here's the Chili Bowl. I guess we should probably take a look at that one.
Well, we got a second.
Palumbo really loose here off of 2. Side by side there with Stearns. And then just gets to, oh wow, you see he like kind of goes over a little bit of a bump there on the bottom, and it straightens the car out a little, or the truck out a little bit. Wiggles him way up the racetrack into Stearns.
That's that grip strip. It found the grip. And found its way into the 05. First time those two have made contact. This season, rather. Well, we'll double it up. Jan van Leer still at the front. Can you check for me? Has he pit? Is he going to do this again?
He very well may. He came down pit road on lap 50.
Okay, so he has pit this time.
I mean, we're estimating about, I don't know what, maybe 100 laps on fuel, or maybe even more.
Oh, 130.
Okay, so with this many cautions...
So he needed to make up 20 laps. I'd say he's probably done that.
I would think that's definitely possible.
Jan and Rodney now in the front row. And there goes RJ now to the outside of Matney. Miglin is lonesome here in 4th. Freed and Schlosser side by side. One in the grass. I believe it's Ryan Dye. John Kay is spun. Kay around in the grass as well. No caution. Now there's a caution. Maxwell Peterson. And that is the new Venom Truck Series record for cautions. 21.
To run it back, we'll take a look at the incident here for John Kay. Oh, and Kay got a couple tires down into the grass. That was the problem for the two there. He tried to dive underneath of Gainey off of turn 4, but got a couple tires into the dirt there on the inside. Put the power down.
Really, really on board with the Chili Bowl idea, huh?
And then as we continue on, oh, wow, Peterson, an absolute send job there into the 69. Steve Roman got a little bit of damage off of that as well. Got hit into the outside wall.
The shrugging continues.
I'm glad we haven't, you know that idea that I told you about the other day? I'm glad we're not doing that today.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yes. Yep.
Face
I agree.
camera stream, yeah. But.
Yeah. Not the night for it. A lot of indifference, I would imagine, from probably 7th on back. Jan's feeling good. RJ, I'm sure, is feeling hopeful. Madney's got to be feeling good for a second win on the season. Josh Freed, after the night he's had, he's in the top 5. Dan Miglin, always a threat on the short tracks. He'll be lining up on the outside. We just had another packet loss disconnect from Paul Sargent. Well, 25 to go. Chad Stern's got the lucky dog on that one. We're in uncharted territory here on our 21st restart of the night. Back it away. RJ trying to get to the top, and he will. RJ solo second.
Matney and Miglin side by side here for third. Miglin a little bit up the racetrack, but going to get a great drive off the top.
So Matney goes to the bottom. It's not going to work out. Schlosser now to his top. And now he should be able to get in the line here.
Double file a little bit farther back. This is Palumbo and Gainey for 9th and 10th.
Oh, Gainey, a little wiggle there from the rear. Palumbo around the outside takes it. Freed ahead of Palumbo now, and now he gives up the top. And now Gainey loose, and he takes it back.
Up front, Jan Van Leer getting a pretty good gap away from the 29 right now. Holyfield and Zittel side by side for 6th.
Holyfield up top. Oh, Palumbo gets turned by Gainey. Caution is back out, and a hard hit there for the 54. Big shots there from multiple people, including Hayden Palumbo, who had just gotten back by Gainey there. And Gainey turns him. Caution 22 on the 22. We're inside of 20 to go.
Palumbo and Gainey have been going after it big time here. Palumbo, not a great drive off of turn 4. Gainey gets a good drive down the front stretch and down into turn 1 and gets into that right rear. Boy, Ellison and Vroman, pretty hard shots there as well.
Do I need to get the defibrillator out for the folks that are hanging out with us here in the chat? If you're still here, you're still breathing, drop us a chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. Maybe we can will your driver to a better finish. Or if you're a Jan Van Leer fan, maybe we can bring him home for you. Let's go, Matinee. Matinee should be on the inside of row 3 for this one, not where he's going to want to be. Jan Van Leer, RJ Starcevic, Dan Miglin, Matt Schlosser, Rodney Matinee. That's the top 5. Zittel in 6th, Holyfield in 7th. Josh Freed, Paul Ellison, John Kay, the top 10. Gary Clark just gave himself a waiver. That'll be interesting. 15 to make it 14 to go at the stripe. Working our 22nd caution of the evening. Jan Van Leer, good getaway up top once again. Oh, Miglin up the track, nearly takes out the team boss. He's looking for a big run. He's going to hook RJ Starcevic. And another one on the 31. Caution is out for the 23rd time, and it is an absolute mess. Good God.
That one was so good.
Yeah.
Well, as we back it on up, RJ's here on the bottom, Schlosser on the top side. You see Miglin, I think, well, it's hard to tell, but I think Mig actually does make some contact with Schlosser there in the 4. And I just don't think RJ expects, after Miglin had to slow down in the middle of the corner, does not expect Dan to have any much of a run there. Just thinks he's going to be able to slot in behind Schlosser pretty easily, but Miglin's nose was still just there, barely. And RJ gets turned into the outside wall, and then after that, it is I don't really know how to even describe this one. This is a junkyard.
Yeah, John Kay takes responsibility for turning into the 39, but even if those two would have made it through, everybody else behind him would not. Garrett Rainey almost goes upside down. And yeah, to be fair to Miglin, that was more of a convergence than it looked like in real time. Miglin had a huge run, taking it from the top down to the bottom. Racing very aggressive up front, no doubt about it. Now, we're inside of 10 to go. So when does that aggression start to make its way to the tippy top of the field?
Well, unfortunately for those drivers in the top 5 that are not Jan Van Leer, with a restart, it's so difficult to get a good restart where Jan is able to just jump right out in front. I mean, there's just almost no opportunity for them unless we get, at least a couple of green flag laps here, but at this point, that seems impossible.
Yeah. Well, Miglin will be here on the outside behind Jan Van Leer. He'll have the best crack at it despite being in 4th for this restart. Schlosser lines up to the inside, and Zittel on the inside of row 2. There's that big jump for Jan, back it away.
Now Zittel way down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Somebody had to spin and save further back. Oh, Ryan Dye is loose and down into the grass. His top 10 run might have just come to an end.
Holyfield and Matney side by side for a top 5.
Maxwell into Freed and goes around. And that's a caution. Cole Maxwell moved up the track into the side of the 39 and got himself around. The shrug intensifies.
I'm blaming this one on Corey Rutherford.
I think there's blame to go around here.
He set us up for failure with that race name. Too many people have taken that to heart. Well, here's a replay.
Oh, we've just had a crash under caution. It was Gary Clark. He's back to pit road. Yeah, what a night. What a night.
Well, we're dipping into overtime here.
Ooh la la. Spicy. Well, at least we know what the cap is going to be. The cap is 27. We used all 3 overtime attempts at Daytona. I think we've only had 1 between now and then. And there it is. Green-white checkered attempt 1 of 3, and we're going double file. So in theory, this could end on lap 201. It could only go 3/4 of a mile too far. Jan van Leer needs to execute on what could be the final restart of the night, and they'll have this one in the bag. But what is everybody around him willing to do to get their first win of the season? A lot of hungry drivers. Green flag. Schlosser gives it a good try. He'll move up to the top right away. Zittel into Schlosser there. Miglin trapped on the bottom. Oh boy, that was close. Schlosser hanging right with the race leader. Can we get to the stripe? Yes, white flag. This is it. Next flag ends it. Ellison is spinning. Miglin is spinning into the wall. Schlosser's got to run. Can we get a pass for the lead on the final lap? Schlosser going to look to the bottom. But Jan van Leer hangs on and will win it here at Thompson. They're wrecking behind him for third. Josh Freed is going to sneak into third. You've got to be kidding me. What an absolute disaster across the line. Everybody just crashed. Every single person from third on back just wrecked on the final lap. Oh, sweet Mother Mercy. Jan van Leer now has wins in both of the races with the most cautions in Venom Truck Series history. And an hour and 45 minutes after the green flag was taken, the checkers are taken for JVL. Sweet Jesus. Big points night for Jan. Hunter Engrav is not here. John Kay finished 15th. Andy Poliski did rally for a 4th place finish. And just like that, the burnouts are over, and JVL will take his second career Venom Truck Series victory. So we'll talk to him, we'll talk to Matt Schlosser, and we'll talk to Josh Freed, I can't believe it, who's going to finish third tonight. Andy Poliski will finish in 4th, and Chad Stearns will round out your top 5. Cole Maxwell, a season-best 6th place finish. Steve Roman in 7th. Hayden Palumbo in 8th. Kyle Zittel and Dan Manglund in 10th. Brent Legany in P11. It's Luke Peterson, who led a lot of laps here tonight, but will finish in 12th. Garrett Rainey in 13th. RJ Starcevic in 14th. John Kay will round out your top 15. Rodney Matty in 16th. Austin Holyfield, Ryan Dye, Paul Ellison, the lead lap finishers through the 19th spot. Jordan Jordan in 20th. Joshua Modacek in 21st. They're going to be the last finishers. Scary Clark will finish in 22nd. Paul Sargent in 23rd. I guess Tyler Berger was running there at the end of the race as well. He'll finish in 24th. Eric Breeding in 25th. Rob Williams 26th. Josh Jackson 27th. Corey Rutherford, Pascal Simard, and Zach Lockett, the 30 drivers that took the green flag here tonight. So we'll go now to some podium interviews. And we will pull in the driver who, out of everybody in this field, everybody that had all their ups and all their downs here tonight, there may have been no driver that had more than rookie Josh Freed in truck number 39. Welcome to Booth 200 for the first time. I hate to interview you under these circumstances because it is the first career podium for you here tonight, but you've had fantastic races this season and a couple of top 5s to boot. And this is your first podium after a night like tonight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll take it. It was an interesting race for sure. You just had to try and avoid everything happening around you, and I was lucky enough to avoid most of it for any major points. My incident points certainly wouldn't say that, but hey, I'll definitely take a top 3 any day I can get one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't even know what to ask because there was no strategy here tonight other than just miss. But I will say, I mean, do you feel lucky here tonight? Because things could have gone wrong at so many different points, like terminally wrong, not just as wrong as they went.
Oh, for sure. For like how many incident points I had, like 32 or something. I think the last time I had pitted, I had only had like 30 seconds of damage. So to not have any, engine damage or something significant to be able to to just be on the track and see what happens is all you needed to do tonight. So, yeah, I was definitely thankful that I was able to miss a lot of those wrecks there.
Matt, what do you got for Josh?
Well, congrats on a great finish. Like Tommy said, I mean, not your best race of the season, but you still come home with the podium, so congratulations. And honestly, I don't really have a whole lot to ask. I'm just going to open it up to you. Who would you like to thank with your first podium interview here on Turn 200?
I just want to, thank you guys and thank the admins of this league. It's been a lot of fun coming out each week. I always have a blast. Even tonight, it was a lot of fun, regardless of what happened. So it's always fun coming out and then watching the broadcast tomorrow. It's always fun rewatching it. So I appreciate you guys.
Hey, we're excited to get to talk to you. You've been lighting it up all season. Very excited for our first opportunity to speak here. First of many podiums, I would imagine, if you're raced like you've been racing all season. So keep it up, partner. We'll talk to you again here real soon. But go celebrate the P3.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So we got to wait for Matt Schlosser to pop in. He does not do the in-race communications, so it takes a minute for him to get it dialed up and get the net gear going or whatever he has to do to get into booth 200 here. So we'll give him just a second. Yeah, they use that. He's got to get off the landline phone first before he can get the internet back up and going. But Matt Schlosser, another podium here this season. And of course, Jan Van Leer with his third podium of the season, his first win of the season. There is Matt Schlosser. I'll go steal him quickly, and we'll just hot swap him right in. Matt Schlosser, second place finish here tonight. You got a copy?
Hey, I'm here.
All righty, partner. Congrats on the runner-up here tonight in a mess of a race, but it's a mess that you came out nearly on top of, and all of the running there. We didn't get a whole lot, but you seem to be really close to having something there on that final go for JVL.
Yeah, JVL did a great job controlling the race from the lead. I was really hoping if I could have a chance to race him for maybe 10 odd laps and just, it's so tough to pass, like have a chance to try to get the lead. Like the lead was worth everything. And I mean, you guys saw where you'd restart second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and anything in between, just the way the deck kind of shuffled. But yeah, some more green laps would have been nice, but I mean, it's hard to complain about second place.
Absolutely. And another great run for you here tonight. Matt, what do you got for our Sunday teammate here?
Yeah, congrats on a good run here. Up front early, you came down pit road pretty early as well, a lot earlier than most of the folks did. I mean, after you saw how many cautions there were at the first part of the race, was that just, I know I'm going to have to pit at some point, so I might as well do it now and cycle to the front after we have more cautions and others have to come down pit road?
Yeah, it kind of happened that way accidentally because I spun. And I was like, I better take tires because I don't know how screwed up they are. And then I looked and I was like, this could be my chance to not pit again if there's enough cautions, and there definitely were. So, I was able to kind of jump in front of people who had to pit after me. And then some guys had new tires, but it was just like so crazy and hard to pass. I was able to kind of hang up at the front and make it work. So, yeah.
Well, we're halfway through the regular season now. The driver that you're kind of racing around in the points got the win here tonight. But in terms of working backwards to the cut line, tonight is obviously your 8th start of the season. You finished outside of the top 5 or the top 10 twice this season. Like you've put together a pretty good stretch. How do we feel on the back half of the regular season now?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good season. I'd love to try to grab a win before the end of the regular season. There's some good tracks coming up. I like the short tracks. I think there's another road course coming up.
Bathurst.
Oh man. Well, I didn't do so well in the ASRL, but it was raining for that. So as long as it doesn't rain, I might be okay at Bathurst. But yeah, it should be a good stretch. I'm excited for the rest of the tracks, and I got a decent place in the points. So I mean, it's not, I don't have to worry too much unless I have a couple bad races. But it looks like I have a decent gap on the cut line, so that's looking good.
Alrighty, partner. Congrats on the podium. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out?
Well, first, am I really talking to you guys, or are we about to do another restart? Because I feel like it's been like a like that Tom Cruise movie where he keeps dying and restarting. I feel like that was kind of what was happening. But anyways, yeah. Shout out to the team. Dan had a good run. Chad was up there. I think something happened to Zach, unfortunately, but we've had pretty good speed of the team. Seems like at least 3 of us are hanging around the top 10 most weeks, which is good. Shout out to you guys, Turn 200 as always. My teammates on Sundays as well. So preemptive shout out to that. And shout out to the admins, the Venom team, all the guys who do all this stuff to make the league great. And yeah, that's all I got.
All right, partner. Second podium of the season. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you again here soon.
All right. See you later.
And we will pull in your race winner for the second time in his career, but the first time this season. Been a long time coming, though. With as fantastic as Jan Van Leer has been running, it was only a matter of time before he parked it at Victory Lane again, and you've done it. Congrats.
Holy cow. Thank you, guys.
What an interesting night. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. Early pit stops, stay outs, get involved in an accident as well. The most cautions in series history. I mean, come on, get a new routine.
Get a new shtick. I know, right? I was just telling everyone I only win races that are like complete cluster Fs and ones where 2 of my teammates are missing. That was the other Larry Mack nugget that you missed it. 2 of my teammates gone. But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course I'm happy to win. I was wondering if I would be happy to win after how that race went. I feel sorry for you guys for having to I don't know how that must have been, but good Lord. Yeah, what a crazy race.
But even with the amount of cautions and kind of the memery of it all, I mean, it still takes execution up front. And especially with that many cautions piling up at the end of that race, I mean, it's easy to just let your guard down, I would imagine. But you did quite well on every restart here tonight, but especially at the end of the race when the pay window opened.
Yeah, I kept trying to change it up. I'd go late first couple times. The one time I went so late that the green flag actually came out. So I was like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. But yeah, I just really tried to nail the restarts. I tried to start at different places. I found out that I could restart in the turn and still get a run out. So started doing that a little bit. The one thing that was kind of scaring me, other than that my talent would just run out, because a couple of those turns I was a little bit sketchy on, was just that, whoever was in second might come and, give me a nice little bump on the rear there for the win, which I wouldn't have blamed him, honestly. But, props to Matt Schlosser. He's a really clean race driver. So put that in the notebook for sure. Yeah, man, I'm really going to be interested to go and watch this broadcast back and see what all happened, because it just seemed like we, more often than not, didn't even get a single lap in.
I remember, in a night where there were so many quotable radioactive moments, I got to say, asking somebody if your tailgate is an innie or an outie might stick out. It might be a top 5 of the night. But luckily you didn't need it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got to give Brantley props to that one. Brantley and Cole, they're funny guys. So yeah, gave me some comedy fodder there for sure.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Well, congrats on getting a race win 2 seasons in a row here. I know this one was kind of a less interesting, or a more interesting one, maybe. I don't know which way you want to put it.
It was deja vu.
Yeah, it really was. But I want to ask you about your season as a whole, because it seems like as a whole this season you have been extremely consistent, always running up front and usually the top 5. Did you put a lot of time in the off season, or is there just something about some of the tracks we've gone to so far this season that are clicking for you? Because it seems like your consistency has just gone through the roof here in season 8.
Yeah, I got to give shout out to Fanatec. Their V3 pedal is a really nice piece of kit. So when I picked that up last fall, I think that helped me start to have a little more confidence, both in braking and just in the turns with the vibration. And then, just really, I'm not running as many officials, but when I do run them, I feel like I've been getting better and keep pushing farther and farther, and sometimes surprise myself with the finishes. So, in really high strength of field races. So I think just kind of, maybe leveled up a little bit. Maybe I got enough experience points and I was able to start putting my attributes, getting my steering up and then the braking and all those things. I just been feeling good in the truck. I think also the change up to the truck, taking away that downforce and adding that side force, making the trucks a little bit more of a handful to drive, has played in my favor. So I think those two things combined has kind of been what's done it.
You heard it here first. Jan Van Leer's been rolling with advantage all season on all checks, and it's working out quite well. Fourth in the points, I would imagine, with Engrav not here tonight, and Palumbo and John Kay stumbling a bit, that you may have gone up a spot, but who knows? You're still well above the cut line. Doing a nice job this season, like Matt said. Very excited about what's to come here in the back half of the regular season for you. Shout-outs for you here tonight.
Yes, sir. I got a list. First and foremost, my team, Insert Coin Racing. They always keep me cool when I'm about to blow my top. So thank you to our team. Thank you to our sponsors, Inca Cola, Kellogg's, Rim Job, Wheels with Taste, and of course, DealDoseForFree.com. Definitely want to shout out my girlfriend, Chloe, and our dog, Chaka, who was sitting next to me for most of the race. I think she was just hungry because the race was going long into her dinner time, but definitely thanks to them. Thanks to everyone involved with this league. Races like this can be trying and they can really get under people's skin, but I feel like everyone did a really good job of staying calm today. Maybe we all just reached a point of F it, you know what I mean? But definitely love racing in this league. I love racing with you guys, broadcasting. I love watching the broadcast after the race. Couldn't be happier. Wasn't expecting this today, so it's a surprise, and I'm tickled pink. Just couldn't be happier. Gonna have a good night, and thank you to everyone. Thanks to everyone who's watching this right now. Put
All right,
ICR in the comment.
Go party. ICR Lounge is open, and drink one for me.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There's Jan Van Leer, the winner again here tonight. Second time in his career, first time this season. Been knocking on the door. Matt Schlosser has as well. I'm very excited for this back half of the schedule. Let me run through the back half of the schedule here real quick, because we don't need to put a bow on tonight. It speaks for itself. We have 27 freaking cautions, so I'll let you speak instead on what we've got coming up here in the next few weeks. First of all, next week is the throwback race at North Wilkesboro. So 165 laps, some cool paint schemes going to be hitting the track next week, and also another short track, one that historically has not produced nearly as many cautions, but the opportunity is still there. The week after that, we've got the endurance race at Auto Club. So we got the throwback and the endurance back-to-back weeks. 110 laps around the big 2-miler, one of our favorite tracks here on Turn 200. Then we have the All-Star race at Slinger. That is followed up by our first trip to Pocono in 3 seasons. Then we've got Bathurst the week after that. Then Nashville Super Speedway, Nashville Fairgrounds for the first time in 3 seasons, and then Indianapolis for the first time in 3 seasons. And that is how we finish out the regular season. That is the back half of the regular season. We'll take the top 10 in points after that. So with the first half of this season out of the way, Matt Williamson, what do we think? Our predictions holding up? Who's surprising you? Who is not surprising you? What do we make of these first 8 rounds?
I mean, first of all, the back half of this regular season is not. If you thought the first half was crazy, wait till this back half gets kicked off. It's looking pretty stout, if I do say so myself. But and I asked Jan about this in the interview. I think Jan, to me, is. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe my memory's serving me, not correctly. But to me, like he said, it seems like he really has leveled up this season. To me, he has been so much more consistent than he had been in some seasons past. And maybe he's been just as consistent, just faster and still consistent. But that's been a big surprise for me this season. He's running very, very well and getting another race win here to top it all off. Pretty spectacular stuff. We talked a lot about some of the rookies, or if we want to call them newcomers here into the Venom Truck Series. They have not disappointed. We had high hopes for many of them, and pretty much all of them have delivered as we expected. Lots of new blood here in the Venom Truck Series, and they have made it very entertaining, and it's been really fun to watch. Also good to see Matt Schlosser continue to progress, run well, and of course, John Kay, his Season 7, by his standards, I think he was disappointed, but he's back and doing things the way he wants to here in Season 8. So there's been so many good things to watch here. Looking forward to Andy Poliski getting back on the right track. A lot of the Broke Guy Racing team has just not been able to put the finishes together here early in the season. So I know they're looking to turn things around. And of course, Team 200, we're here, we're playing. Looking forward to the Team 200 fellas getting after it as well. But yeah, this second half of the regular season is not slowing down at all.
No, certainly not. Maybe it'll even out a little bit, but then again, maybe not. Who knows? Matt Williamson, who was hanging out with us here tonight?
We had plenty of folks. Tyler Berger hopped in here after the race was over, as well as Lindsey G, cheering on the ICR boys, especially on Van Leer. Jonathan Touchstone, Greg Elliott, Jeremy McKinnon, RJ Starsvig texting and driving, Andrew Couch, Stickers McQueen, Nathan Reynolds. I know there was one more. Oh, of course, Zach Glocken, unfortunately, was here earlier. Phyllis Elliott, GA Racing, and Lucas Ward earlier. Also Bailey cheering on Josh Motacek. So looking forward to the T-shirt that Lucas wants us to make. I think that'll be a great one. And but thank you guys for tuning in and watching, chatting with us here. I know that was quite the race to sit through, and a lot of you sat through it for a majority. So thank you so much for tuning in. And anybody else that was watching, we appreciate it. And we got something good coming up tomorrow night.
Absolutely. It's the Daredevil Series at Brands Hatch Indy, our first road course of the season, the 1.1 mile little teeny tiny road course there in the United Kingdom for the second time in series history. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for that one. Thursday night for Max Fee, it is the All-Star Race at Charlotte, 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. Be here for that. Sunday afternoon, it is the Watkins Glen Boot Layouts for the Mission Arm Challenge, top split strength of field broadcast. And that brings us all the way back around to next Tuesday, where again, we will be at North Wilkesboro for the throwback race here at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. So hope to see everybody between now and next Tuesday. But we thank you all very much for tuning in here tonight and hanging out with us through a very interesting race. The Shrug Emoticon 200 at Thompson Speedway is all done and dusted. Thank you to everybody with the Venom Truck Series. Thank you to the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson. But until we meet again from Thompson Speedway, I am Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Jan Van Leer on career victory number 2.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.